What is So week one, a team tour happened. Um, our team lost by one game. It was real sad. But I wanted to quickly go over my first set. It was against Ruihan. He's a solid player. He's a second seed, and I'm a first seed. We played a best of seven. We went to game six. This is the first three games. I kind of played pretty poorly in game one, and I played really bad on game three. But then kind of clutched it up in the last three games. They're fairly decisive. I decided I'm only going to go over one of these games, and you know which one. The one with the hair. I'll kind of try to explain my thought process, because this was me in tryhard mode. I had the music full blast, full volume. Here I combine these moths because I know he's going to front a 3 attack, and then I can maybe value trade, and I just want to survive the round one. I really don't ever want to lose a life. Yep, and it works out. I would have lost that round otherwise. I think I would lose that otherwise. Then I take a synergy, and here I kind of like, I know how to play with my tier 2s well enough. I don't hard roll the triple. And he is at 5. Sometimes I would just throw here anyways. But with the bugs, like specifically these 3 bugs, I feel like I could play with my tier 2s and kind of just win on tempo. Shuffling up the order. I do want to take a life off of them. I've been playing kind of a tempo heavy pack too, so sometimes I don't like giving them snail value, even for the cost of their life, but when I think I'm gonna go with the tempo game plan, it's just best to do. Just to take one more life from him now, don't have to worry about it later. Oh, and you know what it is. We high roll the drums. Care less about where those beaver stats went. What I care about is where my drum stats are going. And Tabby Cat and drums, these are good examples of me knowing how to play with the tier 2s and just being okay without a triple. And Tabby Cat has a good synergy with the Ladybug team, though I'm sure I'm not going to be keeping to this Ladybug team for very long. He gets a Badger start. It's pretty hard for Pack 2 to deal with, but I get good break points. He's down 2 life already. Every life you can get early off of a turtle pack is a great achievement because it just helps. It means you get another turn, and every turn you can get is huge. Here I'm getting just a slightly larger Tabby Cat. It's probably not ideal, to be honest. I probably could have just taken both these Tabby Cats, been in a good spot, and then let the drums decide what tier 3 I'm gonna buff. It's good to go over your replays. You catch some mistakes you make, especially if you give it some time to cool off. That was almost sick. Almost. So now I'm just gonna stack my Tabby, take my garlic. Yep. Now I'm looking for something good to juice with the drums. And this is a crazy shop. This means I can kind of juice 2 things with drum, which is what I'm pretty sure I do. You probably know one of the things I'm juicing. Yep. And I decide just to take this drum triple now, just so I can scale something else. And I'm not going to keep my whole shop locked. I'll keep this hair locked as long as I can, but I'll just deploy the chameleon next turn. I'm kind of using the drum like how you'd use a capybara. And that's an important thing about playing the drum line. You need to know when you're playing it for shop scaling or when you're playing it for tempo like a capybara. Here I'm winning. I can kind of do whichever I want. So I kind of do a mix of both. And then I hit a crazy little toy mechanic because I have the Tabby Cat. So I can take garlic. Then I can take my chameleon, get an extra garlic. And then I get the Tabby in. And here I'm just going to buy this apple. A A lot of times I like rolling 3 times, but I already have a triple, and I have a shop slot frozen. So the only thing I'm looking for is I'm looking for moth with even lower odds than normal. So I'd rather just buy an apple. And I also rather my drum have a chance to buff a tier 4. Because if I rolled into a moth, I'd have to freeze it and eat a drum buff. This is look at all those garlics. Those tabby stats. I'm very much out-tempoing him here. And this is what I'm talking about. The drum hit a tar. It's probably the best hit. It is the best hit. Especially since I have a tabby and I have a poodle as well. So I'm selling out of the drum because now I can just poodle scale and unlock my shop. It is a little bit slower than drum, but I get my shop spot open and I think that's worth. And I sell the chameleon because I want full poodle value. You could argue I could sell the moth, but this moth is still getting poodle buffed. And I want this tier up to replace this with a tier 6. The hare level is important. Hare 2 is such a difference maker in the turtle matchup, because that's when you can get an extra melon, or if you low roll and steal a garlic, you have a chance to get a melon after. Yeah, I deploy the hare the same turn he deploys his melon, and a lot of people kind of panic here in this matchup. I've noticed a lot of people just don't know what to do with hare. So instead of pilling his turtle and just taking odds, he's going to just sell his turtle. Get rid of it entirely. I still don't know if that's correct or not. Now Panther does look like a juicy unit to also scale here, but I'm at 4 lives. I'm taking the double poodle every time. Take the tar for the same reason of why I wanted the moth. I can just get a tier 6 to buff. I think about putting the chili on the hare, or I'm not even really thinking about it. I'm just kind of always mess with my positioning a little bit. But now that I know he has the turtle, I want to front the hare for odds I get the melon. But he does just end up selling out of it completely. And this is why it's so important to win these early rounds, is like I'm setting up for a great scaling team, but I'm down a lot of tempo to do it. So now I can just use my lives to give me extra time to set up a perfect board. We don't go for the hare 3, we're not that greedy. This is a questionable play. I take Toy Gun because he has turkey, and I have a little bit of PTSD from turkey fly. So I'm just worried if he hits fly or something, I could maybe scam him around. But he's probably just using this turkey to pivot, so I don't think it was necessary. And, you know, if you love something, let it go, it'll come back to you. The Panther's back with a pie. More tabby value. And this is just the board. I like this board a lot. It's full of synergy and it's full board scaling. He gets double monkey into leopard. It's a little scary. He can definitely scale taller than I can, but he can't scale wider than I can. And that is usually the perk to pack 2, is having such a widely statted board. Yep, that's the best equipment on hare, other than maybe pancake. I honestly prefer the pie, because you want it to be stealing a melon. And here I rice poodle, which might be weird, but my reasoning is he's on lethal. I'm on 3. I'm going to keep this poodle until I'm on 2 hearts or I'm on lethal. So I know eventually he's going to be sold. I'm just not sure when. But I'm going to sell him at some point in the end game, so I just rice him now. I'm very confident that I can just spam draw into his board. He does get a good trade on this board here. But we still just tie. Ideal for me. He's not bought honey on that to counter my hare, which I would just also buy a honey or take an eagle or something. And I'm still going to chocolate this poodle because this is just best for the long run. I'm doubling the stats I'm giving my other 4 units. Fine by me. I'm just playing it low and slow. So here, this is like how I play an endgame. My board is basically done. The only thing that's getting cycled out is Poodle. So I'm looking for the units that I'm going to cycle out. So Stingray for the Stinky Sock option. I only want Chocolate on Panther, so I don't freeze both. I find once you level Tar, it can kind of run. You can get into problems of it overriding equipment you don't. Same reason I froze the Stingray, I froze the Puma just to make the toy even better when I need a toy. And then Mongoose. So I have options, and I like having these options when he's on lethal. Anything he pulls out on me, I have a good reaction choice here. I can either take Coconut, Peanuts, or Sock, and then I can double it with Puma. But I'm on 3 lives, I'm not going to worry about that yet. I'm just going to keep scaling with my Poodle. Hare's going to get a steak here. He didn't really need it, but it was nice anyways. I could have won that if I had swapped Poodle and Tabby, I think. But it's hard to see. But like I said, I'm super okay with draws. Like, I'm just going to keep my scams frozen, and I'm just going to keep scaling to the moon. And if he ever finds a way to beat me, I'll deploy my scams. Till then, I'm just happy chilling with this board. I noticed last round that it was really close, where if I had the Poodle here, I would have tied. And I know my Panther's much larger, so I'm pretty sure this will get there. And if it doesn't, I have all the scams locked up, ready to go. We steal a garlic, doesn't matter. The hare this game, and we win right here pretty decisively. I think the hare this game was it's a good example of the mind games it does. He sold his turtle, he didn't pill it, he didn't buy any melons, he just bought steaks and garlics. I don't play against hare, I just play the hare. I don't really know what you do against it. But I feel like just avoiding perks is not the answer. Especially on pack 1, you need them too badly. Maybe it is just spam steaks. It's hard to tell. It's if you have steaks and melons, it's dangerous where I can block your steak with a melon. So maybe you just only want steaks. I'm really not sure how you deal with it. I just know the unit's good, and I told you so.